Why media foreign policy report, U.S. President Donald Trump was expected to chastise American allies, including Canada, for a coordinated international effort to recognize a Palestinian state in his address at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday morning. Canada joined the United Kingdom, Australia, and Portugal on Sunday in recognizing an independent Palestinian state before world leaders arrived in New York City for this week's 81st session of the General Assembly. President Emmanuel Macron announced France would also recognize Palestinian statehood during a high-profile meeting at the General Assembly Monday. Andorra, Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta, and Monaco added their voices to the chorus, announcing or confirming their recognition of a Palestinian state. Prime Minister Mark Carney told world leaders during Monday's meeting that the Israeli government is working methodically to prevent the prospect of a Palestinian state from ever being established. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on Monday said Trump disagreed with the move and accused the nations of rewarding Hamas for the October 7 attack that set off the war in Gaza 2 years ago. Moreover, President Donald J. Trump delivered a wide-ranging, unscripted speech at the United Nations General Assembly, declaring that the United States is entering a golden age under his leadership, while sharply criticizing both his predecessor and the UN itself. The speech, which began with a malfunctioning teleprompter that Trump joked left, "Whoever is operating this teleprompter in big trouble," quickly shifted into a sweeping address that touched on U.S. domestic achievements, foreign policy, and his disdain for the organization hosting him. Trump contrasted his current term with the Biden administration, accusing it of presiding over 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism that he said delivered a repeated set of disasters for the U.S. By contrast, Trump claimed that in just 8 months, his administration has restored economic dominance. "We are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close." He boasted of defeating inflation, lowering energy and food costs, and securing $17 trillion in new investment into the United States, far surpassing, he said, the less than $1 trillion under Biden. He also touted what he described as the largest tax and regulation cuts in American history. On immigration, Trump claimed total success at the southern border, saying, "For the last 4 months in a row, the number of illegal aliens admitted and entering our country has been 0. He thanked El Salvador for taking in criminals deported from the U.S. and warned that illegal migrants would face jail or expulsion. Turning to global affairs, Trump portrayed himself as a historic peacemaker, declaring that he ended 7 unendable wars across the world, from Kosovo and Serbia to Israel and Iran. In just 7 months, he criticized the UN for being absent during these negotiations. What is the purpose of the United Nations? All they seem to do is write strongly worded letters. Empty words don't solve wars. Action. Does he went on to reveal Operation Midnight Hammer, in which US B-2 bombers destroyed Iran's key nuclear facility. "No other country on earth could have done what we did," Trump said, adding that the strike paved the way for a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. The former president also pressed NATO allies to meet his demand for 5% defense spending, threatened tariffs on Russia if it refuses to end the war in Ukraine, and warned European nations against continuing to purchase Russian energy. Throughout the address, Trump laced serious policy declarations with off-the-cuff remarks, recalling his past bid to renovate the UN headquarters. "I would have done it for $500 million. Instead, they spent $4 billion and gave you terrazzo floors instead of marble," and even mocking the escalator that once stalled while carrying him and the First Lady. In closing, Trump returned to a familiar theme, his belief that the UN is failing its mission. He accused it of financing illegal migration, undermining Western sovereignty, and creating crises instead of solving them. "The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them," he declared. Despite his criticisms, Trump offered what he called the hand of American leadership and friendship to nations willing to join him in creating a more prosperous and peaceful world.